Now we're live.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron getting ready for the Chargers' big game on Monday night against the Ravens. This is one of those games, even though we aren't related to anybody on either side, it's one we've looked forward to since the schedule came out. Real excited about not only this matchup between the brothers, but at the same time, when the schedule came out, I think a lot of people felt the Ravens are an elite team. We don't know what the Chargers are. I mean, for God's sakes, they picked fifth overall in the draft this spring. How good could the Chargers possibly be? All of a sudden, Chargers are getting a lot of press and a lot of publicity that this is one of the better teams in the league, guys. And if you listen to Jim Harbaugh this week, he kind of sounded a little bit the way Nick Saban used to sound. Remember, he said, don't listen to the poison. That's rat poison the media is giving you. And if you listen to Harbaugh, all of a sudden he's saying, you guys make us soft. Like, we don't want that stuff. This is what we're doing. We're playing. We have a goal. We're sitting and we're getting better every single week. When you guys pat us on the back and say that we're one of the better teams, it makes us soft. So I'm going to ask you, Josh, first, as a former athlete at a high level, when you hear someone tell you, hey, you know, you're great, your team is great, do you let off the gas or does it make you try that much harder?
I think it depends on who your coach is. You know, at Alabama, when I was there, everybody would kiss our ass all the time, but then Nick Saban would make sure that we were in line. We'd be playing teams like Mercer, and he'd make it seem like we're playing the New England Patriots. You know, like that's just the job of the coach to make sure you don't take your foot off the gas. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of those people that's never satisfied, right? So if you're a Charger fan, it feels good to finally have somebody talk about you, but you cannot be in a position, Mario, where you take your foot off the gas. Like Dave said, we had the 5th pick last year.
Yeah, and I'd argue the biggest game that they've had all season. Like, I think this is it, right? Like, this is all the eyes are on it. Most storylines, almost every player that feels like starts for the Chargers has at one point played for the Ravens. Even our kicker was on the Ravens roster. Like, that's insane. So it's the most important game this season. And I think, you know, there's so much fuel to the fire for this game in so many different ways that I think, you know, adding more to it, whether you're saying the team's great or team's bad, it doesn't matter. The emotions are high enough as it is.
You know, what's also interesting to me is when I hear guys say, you know, stuff like Saban said or like Jim Harbaugh says, it always used to frustrate me when I used to listen to Lou Holtz when he was coaching Notre Dame. And this is, you know, before the time of both of you guys, but he would always sell it every week. Man, this is a tough matchup. We have William and Mary. I mean, have you seen William and Mary? I mean, they can get you in when you least expect it. I'm like, it's two guys. It's William and it's Mary against 11 guys from Notre Dame. You have no chance of losing to those two. Come on, William and Mary. And I always got frustrated when Lou Holtz would sit there and say stuff like that. But you see it. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. That they say, you know what, let's keep going. I don't think this Charger team, by the way, is a slip team. And I've said that for a long time when we talked about the culture. I just don't see that. I think there's a certain kind of player you're looking for if you're Harbaugh, if you're Ortiz, and say this is what we need. So I don't expect it. It's definitely not going to happen in the Ravens game, right? I mean, I could see a big time win against the Ravens on Monday night, and then the short week, and you're all of a sudden you're in Atlanta, and maybe it's not the effort that we want to see. I just don't see it from this team, and maybe I'm way off on that, but I expect to see the best of the best from the Chargers on Monday night.
Yeah, you should. And, you know, Ladd didn't practice today, and, you know, Denzel Perryman's banged up. Khalil Mack is banged up. Mario, do you have a question? The talent on this team, you know, if you know certain guys like Ladd McConkey, Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman aren't 100%, do you still think the Chargers can compete with the other guys on the roster?
I still think they can. I think a lot of him not practicing today just goes back to, you know, he took a tough tackle last game and like got a pretty banked up return to the game. It could be just a rest day. It could be just, you know, a little bit of maintenance. I would be extremely surprised if he's not ready to go Monday. I think he's going to end up being all right. But yeah, with these injuries out, that does worry me because you're facing an extremely talented Ravens team. You need everyone to be full go. At the same time, call me a nut job, Dave, but I could see Harbaugh going, they think we're down even more. They think we're out even more. You know, like turns it into, oh, our guys are out. They should count us out, right? Game doesn't matter. Why even play it? It's already over. Like that little thinking maybe can even help the Chargers, you know, come into the game a little bit more, help have a little bit of a more punch coming out of the gate. But I would be very surprised. At least Perryman and Ladd, I'd expect them to play in this game. Mac, honestly, too. Maybe last week was kind of like a rest game for him, but that being said, he is up there in age, Dave. And, you know, you got to be careful because we still want to be a playoff team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You want to be a playoff team, but I think when you look at what the Chargers have, and we used it all the time with J.K. Dobbins. I mean, eventually we know he's going to get hurt. That's always been his history. Knock on wood, he has not been hurt. Ladd feels like that guy as well. That Ladd, for some reason, he's that guy. You don't have a choice. You can't time out an injury. You just got to keep running the guys out there. If they tell you I'm good to go, then you just keep running them out there. And I don't know if it's one of those where, like, for Khalil Mack not to play the other day on a Monday night football game or a Sunday night football game, that's a big deal. Like, to go, Khalil Mack obviously can't go. You just don't expect him to say that. I don't know how many guys on this Charger team can look Jim Harbaugh in the eye and say, no go, coach, can't do it. It is tough. And Josh, we're joking before the show, Alabama playing Oklahoma on Saturday, and Alabama has like 4 guys, questionable. Oklahoma has like 27 guys out, just completely out. Like, dude, I'm not going to play. That's the way it's going to go. But in the NFL, where you worry about how much do you want it, and is it about the money? I think it's tough to go to Jim Harbaugh. I think there are certain coaches. Dan Campbell's probably another one of those guys. Dude, you aren't going? Okay, noted. I mean, kind of like you just disappointed somebody. That's hard.
I don't think there's many guys on this roster that are like that, thankfully, right? The Chargers have a lot of guys where it looks like they just love football, and that's the type of team that Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh have tried to build. There's 2 guys, right, on this team where we've questioned, how much do you want it? It's been Joey Bosa and DJ Chark. Both guys, I mean, Joey Bosa at least had a good game last week. He had like 8 pressures on the quarterback. DJ Chark, we still don't know if he exists. But for the most part, Mario, this team has a lot of guys that seem like they put their bodies on the line. You have Will Disley, who's a great blocking tight end, has been really good in the pass game recently. You have Scott Matlock playing 2 ways. I don't know how long his career is going to last doing that, but we love the guys on this roster, Mario, that seem like they give it their all. Even Quentin Johnson has played through injuries. There's guys all over this roster who I think are going to play if they can.
Yeah, and I think the Chargers done a great job this year of next man up mentality besides it, right? Like, even when our secondary was very weak, when it felt like we were going to local high schools and finding their best corner and throwing them out there, the defense still held up, right? Like, the Chargers still found ways to be successful, found ways to win. And honestly, guys, I think the biggest injury I look into this game that I'm concerned about is Roquan Smith. Like, he doesn't practice yesterday for the Ravens. Still kind of waiting to see if he practices today. That's a guy I'm very, very curious to see if he's able to go Monday. If he's able to go, I think I said this in the last show, I expect our run game to be really slowed down, like very, very slowed. I expect Dobbins not to get as much touches. I expect Edwards to not get as much touches, and we really lean into the passing game because this passing defense is not very good for the Ravens. If Roquan doesn't play, then I think we can really find success on the ground. I think we don't have to be a one-trick pony offense in the game. I think we're able to attack them 2 different ways. So that's something I'm really trying to keep my eyes on and go, all right, is Smith going to be out there, and how much will he affect this game? Because everyone from Baltimore is saying he's a key factor in this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they acquired him. All right, a couple years ago, when hey, we're going to make a move because he's one of those difference makers in the league. By the way, I didn't remind you, for Isaiah Francis, is for you. Please like and subscribe to the show. I don't know what motivation you want me to give you to like and subscribe. I mean, Josh is going to come over and snap your thumbs. I don't know what to tell you. Just you better push the button. Use the thumbs or lose them. That's all I can say. Just a big old threat. That's what I'm going to throw at you. So, Mario, break down the game. What do we need to look out for? You always have great stats on a Thursday.
All right, so I already kind of mentioned it, but I'll start with the Ravens offense, something to look out for. And fun fact for everyone out there as well, Ravens 0-2 against the AFC West this year. I know people always remember the crazy Chiefs game of likely being out of bounds, and the Chiefs end up winning. But don't forget that the Raiders also upsetted them earlier this year, and like I'm still, feeling pretty high about that. I have no idea how that happened. They did beat the Broncos, so I guess 1-2 on that one, but the Raiders loss still makes no sense to me. Maybe they're hanging out with me too much. Who knows? Offensively, though, they're dangerous. They're first in total yards. They're second in points per game. Third in passing. Second in rushing. First in yards per play. 7 yards per play, which is amazing. Third in net EPA overall. It's because, guys, they can kill you in any different way. They have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And I think Jeremy Conn mentioned it. When they go to that run option with those 2 guys, it's like literally Satan and Lucifer, like, coming at you, man. Like, it's dangerous of what they can do to you. That being said, this defense, this is not the 2023 Ravens defense at all. this is the 2024 defense where if you can pass the football, congratulations, you're going to have a goddamn day. They're dead last in passing yards allowed. They're 28th in passing yards allowed per pass attempt. Now, I know you look at that number, like, all right, this could be skewed because Burrow went for 392 and then 428 on him. But, like, Baker Mayfield was slinging and dealing at 371 on the Ravens. Jaden Daniels, 2 for 2 touchdowns and 269 yards. This secondary is not what it was cracked up to be last season. Justin Herbert can do a lot to this secondary. I think Ladd's going to play. I think this could be a pretty good Ladd game. I think also Herbert could light up the scoreboard maybe with 2 touchdowns in this game. Also, with Roquan Smith playing and not playing, if he plays, don't bet Herbert rushing yards or don't expect him to, I think, to scramble out of the pocket and get, 5 or 10 when he needs it. If Roquan doesn't play, I think we see Herbert have another big rushing day because he's able to scramble out of the pocket and there's no spy over there. That's Roquan Smith. So that's just where things I've seen so far with this defense. Going to be really interesting too, Dave, because the Chargers give up the fewest rushing touchdowns in the NFL. And guess who does that the best? The Baltimore Ravens. So that's going to be the biggest clash of all. But look forward to it, and we can get into our keys to the game of how they win, because I think there's a couple of different ways that Chargers can somehow win this game.
I think a lot of people expect, I'm just going to guess that a lot of people are going to guess that Justin Herbert can have a big day, right? If you're Ladd McConkey, you're going, this is not a game to miss. This is a game, if I can go, I might get some numbers here. QJ thinking the same thing, right? DJ Chark might make an appearance. You never know. Because this is an opportunity against that defensive backfield for the Ravens, which is below average. So I'm going to ask you to pull up a betting chart for me, Mario, while I ask the question. What is the over-under passing yards for Justin Herbert this week? Curious to know, because it might be a season high.
It is 255.5.
What are you thinking?
I would probably I'd go rushing yards first, but I would probably bet the 255. Yeah, I'd bet the 255 because I really do think that they're gonna say, Greg Roman, we know what you love to do, and we're gonna take that away. And then I hope Jim goes, that's fine. We have an MVP quarterback.
Yeah. Take the runaway. Go ahead. I think we have the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Go ahead. Mario, the game plan for other teams going against the Chargers has been slow down Ladd McConkey and J.K. Dobbins and make you pass to other people. And the Chargers have done that. Justin Herbert's done that, thrown it to Will Disley and Palmer sometimes and QJ sometimes. I really don't know what the game plan would be going into this game. What, you're going to slow down J.K. Dobbins so the hottest quarterback in the NFL can throw it all over the field? You're going to slow down Justin Herbert so the Chargers can run the ball? J.K. Dobbins, who's been a top 5 running back in the NFL. Chargers can beat you in different ways. Everybody wants to talk about Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry because they should, right? Lamar Jackson could get his 3rd MVP. Derrick Henry can get Offensive Player of the Year. But the Chargers, I think, have the most underrated pass and run combination in the NFL with J.K. Dobbins and Justin Herbert. And if we can get Gus Edwards to build off of his last game, which was his best game, I think it's even more dangerous. There's people in the comments here that are saying, AK said, the Ravens are 0-4 when Derrick Henry rushes under 100 yards. To me, that's the obvious plan of attack. If Derrick Henry does not go crazy, you have a really good chance at winning. Lamar Jackson's awesome, but Lamar Jackson, to me, is much less of a threat through the air than he is with Derrick Henry running the ball. Like Derrick Henry running the ball all over the field, you're going to lose the game. 13 carries and losses, 20 carries and wins. You got to slow down Derrick Henry. We need guys like Denzel Perriman to play because you have to have guys rallying to the football. It's not going to take one person to tackle Derrick Henry. It's going to take 2-3 people on every carry.
For me, this is where I'm calling right now. This is where Jesse Minter's at his best. This game right here. This is where he's going to be at his best, because I don't think it's really hard to figure out what you have to do or the key to success to take care of the Ravens. I'll be honest, when you look at the weapons, and I understand Lamar Jackson's one of the best, obviously reigning MVP, and we're Derrick Henry fans on this show. But when I look at the other guys on the offense, I'm not as concerned as I was with the Bengals. The Bengals were better even on offense than I thought they were going to be. When I'm looking at the running game and I'm looking at the receivers and I'm looking at Joe Burrow at his best, I'm going, man, that Bengals team's kind of scary. I'm less scared right now about the Ravens offense than I was about what we saw in the Bengals offense, especially in the second half. We cannot stop that Bengals offense where one of those were like, man, I'm glad the game is over right now because it just felt like the Bengals could do anything they wanted to do. And so when I look at what the Ravens have, I just honestly feel it's a two-team offense. It's Lamar and it's Derek. And Mark Andrews hasn't really been a factor this year. Isaiah Likely had that crazy game against the Chiefs in week 1, hasn't done anything the rest of the season. And you say, which way are they going to hurt you? I understand the Ravens right now are favored by 2.5. We'll get into our picks and everything else, but right now I do like that this game is in Los Angeles, and I like the fact that the Chargers are red hot.
I think similar thing you said about the Bengals was something that the Chargers did well against them, have done well like all season, is their red zone defense. You mentioned it, Josh. You got to contain Henry. Notice how we're saying contain, everyone, and not saying shut down. You're not going to shut him down. It's just, it ain't going to happen, right? Like, he's going to get big runs. He's going to have explosive runs. He's going to have plays where he's just untackleable. You just got to, if it's usually 8, make it 6, right? Just differences like that. That's going to help you win the game. The Ravens offense is going to get downfield. As soon as they get there, though, just allow 3. If they can keep that up, which have been doing a great job all year, they're second best in red zone defense, and they're only second by 0.3%. So you can argue they're first. But if they can keep that and just go 3-3-3 every time, and we can lean on Herbert, who's, again, facing a defense that's not very strong, I think that's the key to winning this game, is just minimizing all of the things that they do great and making them good this game, not great, because you're just shutting them down is just not going to happen. So I think that's a big key for the Chargers in this one. And someone was asking about the Ravens D-line. The Ravens D-line is a little bit of a worry, right? Like, they're 3rd in sacks in the NFL, so they can't get to you and they can't apply pressure. That being said, Herbert's done a great job of escaping it and put his nuts on the table and getting 10 yards if he needs to.
2 things that make me hopeful for this game, and I really think the Chargers have a great chance at winning, is Khalil Mack might play right. I still think he's the best defensive player on the team. And then Cam Hart. The difference of Cam Hart being in the game and then being out of the game against the Bengals was obvious, right? I mean, the totally different defense. If you have Cam Hart in there, who's questionable at this point, I have a feeling he's going to play. I don't know why I think that, but I do think he's going to play. I feel really way better about this game. Derrick Henry's number 1 in the NFL, Mario, in rushing attempts, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns at 13. He is an absolute problem. If you can have Cam Hart on the field and kind of, guard Zay Flowers and say, we trust you, you're going to take care of that problem. We can focus more of our defense on Derrick Henry. It's going to make the world of difference in this game. It's going to be great, man. I think looking back at last year's game, it was a totally different Chargers team. It was a team that was down and out with a really bad coach and a frustrated Justin Herbert. This is a whole different Chargers team, Mario, that I think really brings the pain. I mean, as lame as that sounds, when was the last time the Chargers played the Ravens and you think we have a team that's just as tough? That's never happened in the franchise history. So I'm really excited for this game.
I don't think it's ever happened since the Ravens became the Ravens,
Yeah.
since they moved from Cleveland, honestly. And the Ravens were always one of those teams where you're like, man, that's a really physical team. We kind of talked about it on Tuesday about coming off the game against the Steelers. And so the Ravens have always been, that team. It's going to be a great game. I mean, it's fantastic. This is a primetime game. It doesn't matter that the coaches are brothers, which is really unique. I got that. This would be a great matchup no matter what. That even if these guys weren't related, this would be a fantastic matchup. Looking forward to seeing it. Something we can see again in the playoffs. Also, one of the things I'm kind of interested to see is what does the fan support look like? Because we know these tickets were bought in advance. Now, I'm just guessing, Mario, the weather right now back where you are, and you're about 45 minutes from Baltimore, it's cold and rainy, isn't it, right now? Am I wrong?
It's not that bad. I'm from the Midwest, like 50. Let's take our shirts off and go sit by the pool. But maybe people out here are like thinking that's cold.
People in Southern California are basically wearing t-shirts and shorts today, though. So what happens is when you're in Baltimore and you look at that schedule, let's get the hell out of here for a week. Let's go spend the week in Southern California. Let's go catch our Ravens. And Josh and I have been to a Ravens game when the Ravens play here. It was a lot of Ravens fans, right? I mean, it was kind of nuts how much purple there was there, and Ravens fans all over the place. Am I right? They traveled well. So curious to know Charger fans who are friends of mine who all of a sudden are back in, as we talked about, hey, I'm jumping on that bandwagon. Literally are saying, I'm exhausted from Monday night, but man, I'm going to do it for Sunday. I'm going to do it again on Monday night. Who cares? It's Thanksgiving week. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to take me to fight traffic, whatever it is when the game's over, but it's going to be worth it because it has become a must go to party going to SoFi and watching the Chargers now.
Best part of the schedule, you have a Sunday night football game at home turn around, you have a Monday night football game at home, which is as good as it gets. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so hyped for this
It's
game.
Thanksgiving week. You're half-assing it the whole week anyway. What do you got to do next week? Set your fantasy football roster? You aren't doing jack. If you're going into work, we know you aren't doing anything. You're just going to send those emails out all day long. Let's circle back at the beginning of the year. We know what you're doing. You're doing. I almost cussed, but you aren't doing anything.
No one's working this week. Like, seriously, some stuff I send messages, I'm like, I'm not getting a response back in 4
See you
weeks.
January 15th. Take a hint.
Mario brought up something earlier we can't gloss over. Roquan Smith, to me, is either the best linebacker in the NFL or the second best linebacker in the NFL. I think him and Fred Warner are the two best, right? If he does not play in this game, Mario, I think it is a 10-point difference. 10 points. That's how important that's how important he is to this defense. They go from being an okay defense with him because the secondary's ass to a pretty good defense with him. Without him, they're okay defense. I can't even talk. Without him, they're horrible. With him, they're okay. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. The Chargers can light up this Ravens team without him. And that's crazy, right? Because the Chargers really don't light up anybody. Last week they did it, though, against the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense sucks. But without Roquan Smith, Mario, I really think this Ravens defense is susceptible to giving up the run, the pass, and whatever the Chargers take because Justin Herbert is that good. And I think J.K. Dobbins can run on them without Roquan Smith.
I think so too. And Roquan, not only like talent wise, does he hurt the team not being out there, but leadership wise, like he's a big factor on that field, right? Like he's the one that calls the plays. He's the one that makes sure everyone's in their spots. He's a big voice in that locker room, big voice on that field. So him on the field affects so many different things that people probably don't even think about. I'm with you. If he's not on it, wow, this game changes. I think the other thing that gives me confidence in the Chargers this weekend, I already mentioned like the Chargers, have a good red zone defense, is Justin Tucker, by the way, is like not Justin Tucker anymore.
No, he's not anymore.
And that, not going to lie, guys, I know in some states they don't allow you to look up, the good stuff. If you're feeling yourself, just think about that if you're a Charger fan, because that's going to get you excited, right? Because if they can force field goals and force them in tough spots, and Tucker's going from 40, 45, 46, 50, and he had that bad last game, and there's just not a lot of confidence there. That's pretty good for the Bolts, Dave. That's a pretty good sign.
It is. Look, Justin Tucker is one of those guys you just marvel at and say, what a career. Like the most accurate kicker of all time. But he had a tough week against the Steelers, and he's sitting there blaming the surface of Pittsburgh's field. Like it was, in the Batman movie. But at the same time, the guy across from you made all 6 of his field goals. What was the score in the game? I think he had 5 field goals. It's like, it's tough to sit there and complain that the surface isn't NFL capable, and that's why he missed those kicks. Dude, the guy across from you basically won the game. They didn't score a touchdown. And yet the guy had no problem kicking. So Justin Tucker, I got news for you, man. It's called father time. It's catching up. It happens once in a while. And a lot of people who saw you beat him at the end, they're going to be happier that you're finally struggling in your career. It's what it is.
Yeah, it was weak. Right. I mean, Chris Boswell, I think it was 6 for 6, Mario.
It was 6, right? Was it 6?
Yeah, Chris Boswell has more fantasy points than like the whole NFL. It's insane. People here asking about the injury report from today. I'll just go through it really quickly. Joey Bosa limited, Bud Dupree limited, Derwin James limited, Khalil Mack limited, Trey Pipkins limited. The ones that did not practice are Ladd McConkey, Denzel Perryman, Cam Hart, and AJ Finley. And that's pretty much it. So Chargers, banged up a little bit, but you'd expect most of those guys to play, Mario. We got some super chats also on the side here. Do you want to get to those?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know why I thought Bud Dupree played for the Ravens at one point.
In spirit.
Am I the only one? Yeah. All right. I don't know why. I could be the idiot. I'm probably the
idiot. He's on the Steelers.
He's on the Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good question. I wish I had an answer. I'll go with Dave first. Angie Barr 199 says, how do they fix the second half issues?
Man, it's one of those things I've always wondered for years. I thought Norv Turner had the worst halftime speeches of all time because it seemed like whatever he said, they were a disaster. But it's really strange, right? I mean, even with Harbaugh in the third quarter, you kind of go, what's going on? It's one thing when your offense isn't clicking in third quarter and you're like, there's another 0 after you played a full quarter. But the other day when everything just fell apart, I mean, things were so in control at halftime of that game. We were going, oh my goodness. Felt like the Jags game. Like anything. Can we just stop anything? Are we playing with 8 defenders right now? Because the Bengals can do anything they want right now against us, and we couldn't stop it.
You know what bothers me the most? You know what bothers me the most about last week's second half performance was Chase Brown was running all over the team. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, we got Derrick Henry next week. Like Chase Brown's okay. Derrick Henry's the best running back in the NFL. If you play like that, the game's over before it starts. So I don't honestly, Mario, I have no idea what you do at halftime.
We didn't even point this out in the postgame show, Mario. But every time Chase Brown ran to the left, he got like 7 yards. And then they started running him to the right, and he wasn't getting but 2. And you're like, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm losing my mind. You just run him to the left. What's wrong? I got news for you. Derrick Henry's favorite place to run is to the left.
We were talking about that, I think, while we're watching it live. We're like, dude, every time it's going there, it's good. And then they're going the other way, and we're like, I don't know why they're doing that. But similar thing to Derrick Henry for like the second half, the thing that a lot of people give Derrick Henry credit for is that the power and energy and speed that he has in the first half is the same in the second half, if not more. Like he wears you down. Like it's like fighting Nate Diaz in the octagon. His energy never goes away. He just keeps going. He's going to still be in your face. So if this is a problem this game, Chargers are going to be in trouble. That being said, that defense does give up the most points in the second half in the NFL. So something's got to give.
Something's got to give. I tell you what, no joke. When you look at defensive backs on any team in the league, compared to Derrick Henry, it is like tackling a car. Like, it's like enough. After 4 quarters, like my shoulders are killing me. Are my collarbones still intact? Because it's a lot. It is. There's not one person that goes, man, I want to hit number 22. Watch this. Dude, you're going to get run over. He is a big, strong, fast dude.
Knock on wood. Okay. I think the Chargers have the best tackling DBs in the NFL.
I agree with that.
Gilman, James, Still, Hart, bring it all the time. All you got, and a few other guys, they bring it all the time. You got to bring everything to get Derrick Henry down. Next one from Demetrius Jones, $4.99. It says, call me numbnuts, Mario, but I have a feeling we get a Panthers upset over the Chiefs this weekend.
I would love to tell you you're right, Demetrius, but I don't think that's going to happen. Andy Reid, after a loss like that, I think the Chiefs, this might be the statement game. This might be the, sorry, Bryce Young, but it's going to, hammer's coming down on you, buddy. So I don't know about that. If you want to bet it, though, I'd take them to cover. I don't know if I'd bet the money line, unless you got pizza money laying around and you want to get DoorDash later.
Dude, how great would that be if the Chiefs drop 2 straight? Right? I mean, you lose 2 straight, and let's say the Chargers win, and you go, man, we're only a game behind. Like we could be in charge of our own destiny.
I will say there was talks this week of like taking Chargers to win the division. That was like a bet that was floating around. And I got an argument with someone. I said, I said that I think Herbert's still alive to win comeback player of the year. And he's 3-1, 30-1.
He's not winning comeback player of the year.
Look at the other options. Look at the other options. So Kirk Cousins.
Okay, I got the guy. I already have the comeback player of the year.
Who?
Without a doubt. It's the dude on the 49ers that got shot right before the season started that's catching touchdown passes.
He caught one.
He's a rookie.
It doesn't matter. He came back from a bullet.
I did.
Dude, this is the way it works. If you come back from almost dying, you're a winning comeback player of the year.
He's not. I'll bet you
I'd be so embarrassed if I was Justin Herbert to accept that award.
What about J.K. Dobbins? Isn't he comeback player of the year?
He has better odds. He has better odds than Herbert right now, but I don't think it's popular enough.
You take a bullet in the street, and then you're catching touchdown passes. You're winning comeback player of the year.
It's 1 touchdown pass, though. You need more than that.
He survived a bullet. I don't know what to tell you guys.
DeMar Hamlin died on the field last year, and he didn't win it. I don't know what you want me to say.
DeMar Hamlin did win it.
No, he didn't. Flacco won it.
No, he didn't.
Hamlin did not win it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Dude, where have you been? We talked about
I don't know. I just thought it was a gimme. Maybe I didn't check the scorecard.
No.
Why in the hell?
Flacco won.
If I'm Flacco, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like,
because Hamlin didn't play well. I'm with Mario on this. You need more than 1 touchdown. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta have more.
Wow. Dude, that's crazy to me. If I'm Flacco, like I literally take the word with my head down. Like I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh. They stopped an NFL game. How often do they just stop an NFL game? They never do that. They don't care what happens.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Wow. That is something else. That's embarrassing.
The others for it is Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow is plus 150. They're not making the playoffs. So I think he's out. Nick Chubb's not getting it, and Kyler Murray. Those are all the guys ahead of Herbert.
Even Stephanie knew Hamlin didn't win it. I got it. Everyone's giving me a hard time. I had no idea. Okay. Yeah, I'm
All
not
right.
tweaking.
Next one comes from Stephanie. Stephanie Chamberlain, 9.99. Thank you, Stephanie. She said, "Just here to support. Best Bolt podcast out here. Love this show." We appreciate
Yeah.
that. Hey,
Sorry,
I got a
Stephanie.
question. Totally, I should I should probably bring this up to you guys before I do it live on this. What do
Go
we
ahead,
do to get more
Stephanie.
followers? I see a lot of people with a lot of followers. I'm like, do we do giveaways, Mario? What do we do here? Topless
Maybe it does.
podcast?
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it doesn't help. I don't know what the hell happens when comeback player of the year. When it's
That
news,
could
it's
do
news
it.
for me.
You're the best one on this show. If it wasn't for
I
you,
doubt
me
it.
and Mario would be working at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's also true. And you know what? We'd be selling cigarettes to kids.
We would. No shame.
Josh should be
All right.
You're selling cigarettes to kids. Josh is standing outside buying alcohol for kids still in high school. Great.
It's a good gig. It's a good overcharge. You keep the change. All right. Next one is Mighty 499. Mario, what do you think about Daniel Popper at the pressers? Are you fans or no?
Yeah, does his job well. Shout out The Athletic. The Athletic always puts out premier stuff. Support the biz.
I didn't think he was out of control at that press conference the other day. People are saying, "Oh, I look at him sitting there sticking it to Harbaugh." I didn't see it that way. I don't know.
I
You
think
see it
he's
that way?
probably one of the best. No, I think people get their feelings hurt a lot of times, especially in Southern California. Go to Philadelphia or Washington D.C. or New York
Yeah.
or Boston. They're way more cruel than people here.
Bro,
aren't
the
kidding.
Philly
That-
writer
that's
just
underhand.
wrote the piece where Embiid shoved that writer. Did you guys read his piece on
No.
Embiid?
All right, dude, that was crazy.
That was crazy. That was insane. Like I was like, Embiid, really gonna shove a reporter that you're probably 4 sizes smaller than you? And then I read the thing and I was like, I would freak out too, actually.
Dave has no idea what you're talking about.
I don't. Which part are you talking about? And he's giving Embiid credit, or he's giving the reporter credit? Like, who was he? Whose side was he on?
So I'm saying there was a reporter that Embiid like shoved into a locker.
Yeah, I know that story.
Apparently. Yeah. The reporter, I'm summarizing, so this is not word for word, but the reporter basically wrote a story of how Embiid's like been a letdown for the city of Philadelphia and mentioned that he had a sibling that was like killed in like back in his country and was basically said that he's not living up to his legacy, was what he said, which is a crazy thing to write.
That's
It's
insane.
a crazy thing to write.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I've been in a million of those situations in the locker room, like where I've seen things go bad. I've also been disrespected by athletes. That's fine. If I was Embiid in his shoes and someone did that and brought up my sibling who passed away, it'd be on. Like, I just don't care. You go ahead and suspend me all you. I won't play till January. You want to send me out the whole year? I'm going to shove this guy into the wall until he can barely breathe. Like, someone's going to call an ambulance. I thought that guy crossed the line. I thought the NBA, honestly, I thought handled it wrong. That they're too severe on Embiid, and I'm not an Embiid fan.
No,
I agree with the part that say that again.
They need to punish the reporter that's crossing
Exactly
the line.
right.
I think they deleted the story or they edited the story or something.
Deleted his career.
Yeah, it's messed. Yeah.
All right. Next one comes from Gabe St. Hilar. I think that's how you pronounce it. It says, "Everyone I know is a Bolt fan now. At least Herbert's getting praised, though." I don't care. Anybody that wants to jump on the Chargers bandwagon, if you want to call it that, go ahead. I've never been one of those fans that says, you weren't here when we had the 5th pick. I'm all for the Chargers taking as many fans as they can. I don't know if you guys look at it the same way.
I do. I welcome all of you at the parade. 100% I do. That I've said that before. Need as many as you can. A buddy of mine who's a season ticket holder. He gets a hard time because he lives in San Diego and he goes up to LA for all the games. He said, I'm printing up shirts that say "No stop till SoFi." The old Beastie Boys song. He's like, that's it, man. This is the way it goes. And anyone who gave up on that team when they moved cities, or anyone who says, "Look, this is my team now because I love the NFL, but I haven't picked a team and saying the Chargers are my team," it's a good choice. It's a good choice. They got cool uniforms, and at the same time, they got a rock star head coach, a rock star quarterback, and guess what? They have a winning record, one of the best records in the league. It's only supposed to get better over the next 4.5 years.
We kind of called that though, right? Like we said that like during the summer, there's gonna be a lot more fans coming because of
I'm not one of those
Harbaugh's
guys.
being
Where
there
were
and
you?
teams.
What's the point of saying where were you?
Yeah. Also,
those are the "I told you so" people, which we all hate them too.
Oh, and it's the people that after a bet hits, this is just betting, but I can't stand it. Imagine betting whatever bet. that like lost. I hate those people so much. Like, why you're such a genius, dude. It's a 50-50 chance. Oh my God, you picked the right side. Congrats, dude. I hate that so much. Imagine betting the Chargers +5. It's like, shut up, dude.
Next one comes from Mike G, $5. Says, "Is it me or is there a lot of crappy teams this year?"
I think in the NFC, there's some disappointing teams. I mean, he's right. I mean, how many teams? I mean, when you're going, the Patriots have 3 wins. Well, they must be picking in the top 3. I think they're set to pick in top number 8. All right. I mean, there are a lot of teams with crazy records. This league is meant for you to go basically 500, either 9 or 8 or 8 and 9, and it's not working that way at all. It is an interesting year for the NFL in that aspect.
4 teams.
Sorry, 9 teams with 3 wins or less. Go, Mario.
9 teams, that's a lot.
I was gonna build off that. 4 teams with 2. Which is crazy.
See, that's crazy. 2 wins is an automatic. You got the first pick in the draft. Like that's freaking nuts, right? To go 2-15 and not get the number 1 pick.
Just forget the records. Off your eye test, who's the worst team in the NFL?
Go ahead, Mark.
Off eye test.
For me,
probably Jags. For me,
I'll say Raiders.
I think Jaguars.
Yeah, they made Shane Waldron the
Lions game. It's like, why do you even show up? Why did you go to the game?
Okay, now that you point this out, and I'm curious to know what you guys say, as we always run off topic, but here's the deal. You have teams that have franchise quarterbacks you're paying a ton of money to, right? Trevor Lawrence makes Justin Herbert money. Dak Prescott makes $60 million a year, and yet you're 2 of the worst teams in the league. What is your upside? How do you fix that? You know what I mean? Dak Prescott has a no trade deal. Like, at least if you're the Raiders and you stink, you're going, hey, Tom Brady's in. Talk is Tom Brady's making 90% of the decisions for this franchise moving forward. And you don't have a quarterback and you don't have a coach. So at least you say there's room to get better. There's no room to get better for some of these teams. They're completely handcuffed. The Browns are completely handcuffed.
Yeah, get rid of your assets. And why would you sign a quarterback to a guaranteed deal that just got in trouble for all the crap he did, and he wasn't that great before he got in trouble? Like, I don't understand these teams. And like Dak Prescott, to me, is completely overrated. Get rid of Micah Parsons. Any assets you might have, get rid of them. Put curtains up in your stadium. Like, they're idiots over there in Dallas.
Have a stadium in Dallas, you know?
Yeah, it's insane, dude. All right, let's get to picking the games.
All right, let's get to the games. That's it. It's always fun right there. Appreciate everyone at the super chats. Again, for the last week, we all went 9-5 last week. First time we've done that this year. We all have the same record on the season. Mario's still in first place. He's 92-75. I'm almost to 500. I'm 83-84, and Josh is 78-89 is where we're at right now. There are about 80 hot dogs in my refrigerator right now that Josh bought yesterday. I think is preparing for the loss, Mario.
I am.
It's ready to go.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Thursday night football. And this is a game. I'll ask you, would you guys go to this game if you had tickets? Would you go see the Browns take on the Steelers? It's going to be 35 degrees and raining. Would you go and freeze your ass off, or would you just go, you know what, I'm going to stay home and watch this one on the television? What would you guys do?
Stay at home. This is bad because we're an NFL podcast. I'm very big on staying home than dealing with the traffic and going to the stadium. I always have a much better view on my TV, and I can use the bathroom and eat whenever I want. So that's the way I look at it.
Call me a sucker. I love the cold. Give me some pops. I need some beers. I need some, let's get the liquor flowing. Let's have a good time. Obviously get a DD. Dude, I love the tailgate's going to be that much better. It's going to get that much wilder. Let's be the dumb idiots and bet the over. Let's cheer for chaos. Like, let's have a good time. Especially it's Steelers Browns. Those are 2 fun fan bases. You got to think about the fan bases and the freaks that are going to be there. And if there's more freaks with you, it's going to be a good time.
Dude, this game will always be known to me. This matchup, especially when on Thursday Night Football, is the Mason Rudolph game. Will always be known as this is the game where Myles Garrett ripped off the quarterback's helmet of the Steelers and then hit him in his bare head with his own helmet. Crazy. Like, the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports. That's the matchup. I remember, usually I don't watch games in bars. I was in a bar and couldn't believe what I saw. Oh my God. Did everybody just see what happened? That was nuts. The fact that Myles Garrett's still out to be in the NFL is crazy to me. Call the cops. Had him arrested right on the spot. It was nuts. That's assault, brother. All right, here we go.
That bad.
It wasn't that bad. He hit him in the head with his own helmet.
I mean, you look at Mason Rudolph. What would you? Kidding.
Could have cracked his skull open. Daryl Strawberry's
I'm
mom.
surprised he didn't, to be honest with you, dude. The amount of strength going like behind
Yeah,
that thing.
right.
Woo!
I was
That's
at a
crazy.
Dodger game once. The Dodgers were playing the Mets, and Daryl Strawberry's mom knocked me out, like blacked out, hit me in the head with her purse. Yeah, it was bad.
All right, so I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers covering, even though the game's in Cleveland. I think Jameis is banged up, right? The Browns suck. I got the Steelers to cover.
I like the Steelers too as well. I think this game could literally be 13-6. Like I think that could be a reasonable score.
I got the Steelers also in this one. Last week we all picked the same Thursday night game and we all lost it. All right, next up on the schedule, Buccaneers. They're at home. They're favored by 4 over the New York Giants. I'll take the Buccaneers. New quarterback.
Yeah, I got the Bucks. Yeah, I got the Bucks as well.
You zig, I zag. The G-men.
Tommy DeVito?
Tommy DeVito. All right, wait. You
right?
said
the pizza
what
guy.
was the number that you had?
4.
Son of a bitch.
I just literally updated it during the show.
Dang it. Yeah, I'll stay with the 4. God, that's not a good bet, but I don't know if I trust Bucks to cover 4.
All right, Mario and I were talking before we went on there that we thought maybe this is a trap game here. Chiefs favored by 10.5 over the Panthers. Chiefs are on the road.
God dang it. I'll go Chiefs. I think they're just going to blitz the hell out of Bryce Young. A defensive touchdown or 2. It's going to be ugly.
I think the Chiefs win this game as well. I think they're really going to try to make a statement out of this, and poor Bryce Young's on the receiving end. That being said, I could see it be close for a second, and then Chiefs blow it away.
Chiefs never seem to blow anybody out, but I think coming off a loss, I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. I wouldn't bet that game. All right, Commanders, they're at home. They're favored by 9.5 over the Dallas Cowboys. Mario, go ahead. What do you say?
God, I hate that. Like when we were talking about before the show, how I hate the numbers this week. This is a number I hate. I guess Commanders. I don't feel great about it, but I get. It's a divisional game though.
Yeah.
So give me the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys just because of a divisional game. But Cowboys suck, and CD Lamb's banged up.
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite of you guys. I'm going to go Commanders. I think the Commanders have waited a lot of years to stick it to the Cowboys, and this is their season to do it. Next up, Miami Dolphins. They're at home. Dolphins favored by 7.5, taking on the Patriots. Game inside the division right there, Mario.
Oh, I love the Pats in this, dude. I'm obsessed with the Pats in this.
Dude, I'm honest with you.
Really?
Dude, the Dolphins with 2 are a point machine.
Point machine, but I think the security of having a touchdown makes me really, really like the Pats.
Josh, who do you say? You say you're taking the Dolphins?
I got the Dolphins running it up on the Patriots.
Okay, I have the same thing. I think the Dolphins are that team that's not in the playoff picture that all of a sudden might surprise you. By the end of the year, they're in the playoffs. Next up on the schedule, you have the Texans. They're at home, taking on the Titans. Texans are favored by 7.5.
I got Tennessee to cover.
I got Tennessee to cover too. Texans are like a team I'm benching CJ Stroud in my fantasy league. I'm not betting them anymore. I want nothing to do with. They're my new Ravens, dude. I've been at war with the Houston Texans since about week 4.
I'm going Titans as well. I pick the Titans, I think, every week, and every week I've lost on the Titans. But I'll go with the Titans as well.
Mike Vrabel really sickened you in the head with that.
Lions, the rumor is Vrabel right now is who the Raiders want, by the way. We always talk about where's he going to end up. Lions favored by 8. They're on the road taking on the Colts.
Oh, man. I think Lions probably. I don't know. It's not a divisional game, and the Lions kill teams when they're not divisional games.
I like Lions a lot in this because I think Anthony Richardson, you just had the best game of your career. You're gonna get a little welcome back to the big boys with the Lions, and Lions been blowing every team out, 9-1. I think they do that to the Colts.
I'm with you guys as well. Going to go Lions in this one. I mean, Colts have been winning games, but I'm going to go Lions. Vikings, they're on the road. They're favored by 3.5. They're taking on the Chicago Bears. I'll take the Vikes.
What do you got?
Ugh, disgusting. If I see one more report of how Thomas Brown has this offense energized and excited to play football, I don't know. It's like my TV's gonna get broken in my apartment. That's shut up. No one's excited. You still have an idiot running the team. Give me the Vikings 3.5.
Same Vikings.
Okay. Look at that. All right. Next up, Broncos. They're on the road.
Wait, actually, can I go back? I'm gonna take Bears.
No,
wait,
too
you
late.
said 3.5. You said 3.5, right?
I'm just joking. Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you want.
All right, Bears. I'm going back Bears.
Okay, go ahead. Broncos on the road. This has gone from 4.5 to 6. Broncos are favored to knock off the Raiders.
Oh man, I'm gonna go Broncos. I guess Raiders are really bad. Really bad.
If this thing gets to 7, I'm actually gonna bet the Raiders. Because it's
Okay,
just
well,
like
it's at
what
6. On a Thursday
Yeah.
at 6, dude.
It could, but then you get the Sunday rush money where someone, everyone's like, oh, I just woke up at 9 a.m. This is what I should bet. It's like, buddy, you should have bet on Tuesday morning. Why are you taking your morning dump? But I would take Raiders +6.
Oh, you're going to take the Raiders. Okay.
Yes.
Next up on the schedule, the Packers are favored by 2, hosting the 49ers.
49ers.
Ooh.
Shoot, I have the 49ers written down. I might change my name. Go ahead, Mario.
I guess the Niners. I guess. Give me the Niners.
Man, this is a tough one.
49ers own the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
He's not there anymore.
I don't think LaFleur. I'm pretty sure LaFleur's record's even bad. I mean, obviously a lot of it was with Rodgers too, but I think LaFleur's had some tweak sessions against the Niners.
It's funny. Purdy was banged up this week.
Kittle too.
Ever hear from quarterback?
He's never hurt. Yeah, Kittle's never hurt.
All right, we'll have the 49ers. You have the Cardinals right here. Cardinals, one of the shockers of the NFL. Cardinals are favored by 1 on the road against the Seahawks. I'll go Arizona.
Arizona.
Damn it. I thought you guys would take Seattle. I love Arizona.
You betting this one?
I think I'm going to tease it, actually.
Okay.
The next game, I bet.
Okay. Eagles favored by 3. They're on the road at Sunday Night Football. Look at these primetime games, by the way. You have primetime Sunday at SoFi this past week. Then you have primetime Sunday again at SoFi. And then you have Monday primetime again at SoFi Stadium. Eagles are favored by 3 over the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm going to take Philadelphia.
I love the Rams this week. I love it. I love it. Love. Rams +3. Take it to the cashier and tell them to shove it. Don't do that, but they're nice people. Don't be mean to the cashiers.
All right, last one. Here we go. This is the game what we've been waiting for. It's the Ravens visiting the Chargers. Ravens are now up to 2.5-point favorites in this. So the money went from 3 to 1 or 1.5. Now it's going to settle in at 2.5.
Chargers, and I'll even give the score since we always do that as well. Go 24-23 Chargers. They went on a last-second field goal by Cameron Dicker. Okay. Player of the game on defense. I'm going to go Derwin James. He's going to make a huge play. It's going to be in the second half. Make sure you edit this, Mario, so I can play it on Twitter when I'm right. And then on offense, I'm going to go QJ. I think QJ has another touchdown in this game. Somebody's going to let him out the back door. He's going to get one of those wide open touchdowns.
All right. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I think Ravens win 21-17.
Son of a
I
bitch.
think they do. I know. I think Derrick Henry in the second half is going to really wear us down. And I think that's where we kind of get hurt in this game. 21-17, it's the Ravens. They win the Harbaugh Bowl. And that gives us a little bit more passion. And then we go and smoke the Falcons next week. But too many things concern me in this game for the Chargers.
All right.
Oh, players to watch. My bad.
Well, you better pick Ravens right now. You better pick Ravens. Since you went against the Chargers.
Players to watch.
Your picks to click. I can't believe you picked against the Chargers. But
which
Hey,
Ravens players are you going to pick to click here?
yeah, which ones? Let's go, tough
Kyle
guy.
Hamilton, because you're going to need to be really good in the secondary, and he's that leader of that secondary. So Kyle Hamilton for defense. Offense, I would go, I won't say Derek, but I would say Zay Flowers. I guarantee you he remembers who didn't pick him.
Okay. At least you stayed loyal to your prediction before the season started. I'll give you that. You disappointed everyone else on this show, though. All right. I'm going to go Chargers.
I'm going to get called so many funny names in the chat. It's going to be really fun. I hope Bear Nips comes up with something good because that name's funny.
Chargers 27-24. And Ladd's going to be your offensive guy. I would have taken QJ, but Josh just did. And defensively, it's going to be Thule.
Thule, hottest player on the team right now. Looks wise.
Look at that.
There we go.
You disappointed people on the side, dude.
Yeah, they hate you. A couple chats, Mario. If you don't mind.
Stephanie's not inviting you over for Thanksgiving dinner. She hates your guts.
Yeah, you're not invited to the quinceanera.
Dominic Rogers hates your guts.
All right, Mike T. 499 says, how do you think Jim and the team will handle the second round of divisional games? Big fan of the show. What game are you guys going to go to? I love that he already put us in the second round of the playoffs. You know, he got to be positive.
I think he means second round, facing the Chiefs and Broncos again.
Oh, okay, got it. Great. I think the Chargers are going to do much better against the Chiefs than they did the last time. What do you think?
I think Chiefs is going to be a spot where you see a team that's a lot more improved. The team I'm most worried about facing again, Dave, is Bo Nix because of how good he looked in the second half against the Chargers and how good he's looked since that game. Like, he's put on some hell of performances. That's a game that I'm a little bit more worrisome. Where, like, Chiefs, I feel a little bit more confident. Raiders, I think half that locker room's already checked out.
Oh, they have. Those guys have. I agree with you on that. Yeah, the Chiefs are the game I'm most worried about, of course. I mean, it's KC. I mean, it's tough. That game's, again, December 8th is going to be a primetime game, Sunday night game. It should be exciting. The question also, which game are we going to? It doesn't look like we're going to catch a game this year. Am I right, Josh? Because we're waiting for Mario?
Unless somebody gives us free tickets. Just for me.
Unless we're invited.
I like that.
Season tickets.
Well, you're not going to – I mean, you have to get a plane ticket, so I don't think you're going to do it. But
I know I can do it, but yeah.
Yeah. Dave and I will drive up to L.A. with you.
If
you get us
literally right down the freeway for us. But we're holding back because we're a team here. But, I mean, you're really kind of penalizing us here, Mario. I mean, there's a party up the street and we aren't going.
Dude, go to the party.
You don't mean it.
Put vodka in the water.
We're going to go and then you're going to pull. I can't believe you went without me. You don't mean it.
Yeah. Text you guys mid-game. I can't believe you guys did this.
Exactly.
Next one from Richie Farley, $5, says Sunday night was probably the best Chargers game atmosphere in a very long time. Thoughts? Season ticket holder since 2016, middle of the end zone, right next to the tunnel. We couldn't hear it. I mean, we did the live show, so we couldn't hear the announcers, which I was okay with because I don't really like the Sunday night broadcast. But I heard it was really loud. Mario, I think you had the volume up.
Yeah, it was insane. I was watching the broadcast yesterday, and that's something that they mentioned. That's a lot of things people were saying on Twitter was like the Chargers have a fan base. I think even I was listening to Simmons pod the other day, and they were like, "Wow, they got fans. There's a home field there, and that's only going to get bigger, and that's only going to get better." And I bet if you're Dean Spanos too, Dave, you gotta be pretty pumped about that, right? Like that, you gotta be smiling in your box, going, knowing win or loss, this is a fantastic sign.
It's a great sign. It was literally, I think, the best game since they moved back from, and I say back because they started in LA, moved back from San Diego to Los Angeles. It was the best game they've had. They moved in 2017. Josh is shaking his head. It's the best one. Let me tell you, we talk about people jumping on the bandwagon.
That's not why I'm shaking my head. You said when they went back to LA, nobody considers the Chargers go. I know they did, but nobody considers them going back to LA.
If it says it on Wikipedia, it's true. Okay, 1960, they were in LA. They averaged 5,000 fans a game, and they moved to San Diego. And that's what happened. Then they went home. Welcome home, guys. And now all of a sudden, it's finally paid off. Since 2017, when they played their first game, and since returning in 2017, the game against the Bengals was the best game. It was awesome. And everyone else who sitting there saying, hey, I don't know, I hate the team because they left San Diego. Look, they went home. That's the way it works. Okay. And all you people who sat there and thought it was great when a local person in town hired a sign guy. Do you know who the sign guy is, Mario? So they hired some guy in an airplane who would go fly over the stadium, just ripping Dean Spanos or the Chargers. It was ridiculous and embarrassing and petty as hell. Okay,
That's
insane.
funny, though.
The guy who led the whole thing, by the way, is a local broadcaster I'm actually friends with. Oh, he's so loyal to the soil. He now does a show up in Los Angeles too. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Not working in San Diego, but I'm working in LA where the Chargers are, but I'm gonna say terrible things. You guys are all hypocrites. It's a joke. Look, you want to be part of the good stuff or not? Just jump on, buy your Charger gear. It doesn't have to say Los Angeles on it, but we all know what it really means. And go ahead and root for this team because this is where the party is. This is where it's going from here on out. You know?
I like that.
Yeah, I'm ready to double gun every one of you guys.
I'm
doing
before
it
we get out of here, do you have anything that's pissed you off lately you want to share with the group?
Yeah, therapy session, Dave.
I had one yesterday. I don't know if it's right for the show, though. I don't know if it's right for the
Everything's right for this show. The show has no rules.
Yeah. What are you
Should I
going to
tell
say?
the story how I yelled at that poor girl yesterday, Josh?
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
well.
Mario doesn't seem okay with it.
No, you can't.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Is it long-winded, though? Is it too long of a story?
Just hurry it up a little bit. It's fine. Nah, just say it. Whatever. Who cares? People want to hear it.
Okay, long story yesterday. Okay, Mario. So my wife goes to work, but she carpools to work on Wednesdays. So she didn't have a car. She calls me and says, "Hey, I'm really sick." And I said, "Do you need me to come get you?" And she said, "Yes." So I said, "All right, I'll come get you." She's about 30 minutes away. And I said, "But I got to get my hair cut at 11:30. I don't know if I'm gonna make it back home to drop you off." And my niece is the one who cuts my hair. Okay. So I said, "Look, we aren't going to make it back home. You're going to have to go sit on the couch, whatever, while I get my hair cut." And she says, "Fine." So as we're walking into the salon to get my hair cut, I go, "I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. Just go say hi." And she walks in and my niece just freezes, thinking, well, my aunt's here. She must be here to deliver bad news. Something must happen to her mom or dad. So she kind of just freezes. So the only people in there are my niece, the lady who's getting her hair done, and the lady who's her assistant that washes hair. Okay. And I come back out. She says, "Uncle Dave, why don't you take my aunt home and then come back? I'll cut your hair." So I go back and then I'm sitting there and she says, she's behind me, cut my hair. And then the lady who washes hair is over here to the left, Mario. And she says, "I was really scared when my aunt walked in. I thought she had bad news." And the lady who washes hair over here says, "I was really scared too." Okay, now I got to turn the whole, the chair that I'm in with the wheel. I go, "Have you ever met her before?" She goes, "No, I've never met her." I go, "Then why in the F were you scared? What were you scared about?" I go, "You never met her before." I don't know whether she's 5'6", wearing a scary sweater. What the hell were you possibly scared about? So I just laid into her for no reason at all, I guess. But I just thought it was the most ridiculous comment ever. Why were you scared? You never even met this person. She didn't walk in with a chainsaw running. What the F? And then I just turned and looked at my niece. "Go ahead, finish cutting my hair." And then my niece goes, "She's afraid of you already. Now you just ripped her head off, and for nothing." And I was like, the comment just didn't make any sense to me. So it kind of set me off. Is that a weird reaction from her or for me? For me, I mean, I'm right? Why would you say I'm scared? You never met that person.
Well, one, why are you getting into you're really getting into the convo, right? Like, why are you getting, like, that's my thing. I would respond like, "Yo,
why did she even jump in?" It wasn't like she should have just kept her mouth shut.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me?
No, like, why was she even?
Yeah, it was
like,
a family.
if that
It
was
was a
me,
family conversation.
Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, it's a family thing. That's none of my business." Like, I would just be like, "All right, it's none of." I'd just be like laughing at the side.
Yeah, this girl who's in her 20s also said Dave is the largest person she's ever seen. Yeah. I was like, "Do you live in a box? Like, how's he the largest person you've ever seen?"
Did you say, "Wait till you see my son that's tall"?
Did say that. I go, "Josh is like 3 inches taller than me." I go, "But I'm the tallest person she's ever seen." And I was like, what the hell? Like, that even set me off more in my head. And I know I'm unstable because little things like that set me off. But as I said to Josh, what, she grew up in some pygmy village in Africa? What the hell is she talking about?
That's great. In the limited time I spent in California too, that's even crazier because when I was there, I like everywhere I went, I was like, damn, I'm the smallest guy. And I'm like I'm not like insanely short. I'm like 6'1", and everywhere I was like, I'm like one of the shorter guys here. So that's crazy. I don't know where she's going.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Behannon says, "Sounds like a chatty Cathy," which is one of my favorite phrases. Yeah.
Chatty
there
Cathy.
You go. Yeah. I like how the person on the side, or I just passed it, just guess. That was Girthy. Knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, it was Kaplan sitting there trying to sit there, get paid for sign guy. What a joke. What an embarrassing moment. Jeez.
Oh, I have another niece.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Wait. I don't know if she's born yet, but probably by the time we're finished up, she'll probably be out of the oven. They probably
boy.
popped her out.
Are you the godparent?
Yeah.
Good
Are you a godparent to any of them? You got so many. Are you a godparent to any of them?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If with how that works, if one of them goes and I'm the one that they're really leaning on, we got something wrong with the family.
Yeah, there's some
like
problem.
I'd be like really?
Like we're calling CPS before you even have any interaction.
Yeah. Welcome to the 500 square foot studio apartment.
Dude, it sounds like a good movie. It sounds like a good movie.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Mario's responsible for another human being all of a sudden? Oh boy.
Oh, I would cry.
Dude, are you a godparent though to any of them? Seriously, none of them?
Because I'm not Catholic, so no. I don't think so. But I know
like seven of them. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous.
I think my cousin, because my cousins are Catholic, and I think for one of my nieces or nephews, they all go to JJ, which is funny because there's 3 of them, and he's the youngest, and like the other 2 are a little nuts, and they don't have a problem with me saying that. If you meet him, the first thing they say is, "I'm a little nuts. I'm not okay."
I'm not okay.
Yeah, they're funny.
I'm not okay. This is a good way to start. Yeah. Your mom right now is going to yell at you when the show's over. You're in trouble.
I almost said the kid's name too. I won't say the kid's name, but that's nephew and niece number 9. So here we go.
Good deal. Congratulations to your parents as well.
Yeah, awesome. Shout out to them.
That's it.
Thanks for banging.
Yeah, just I hope. Please, Louise. I hope this does not mean less money for you one day, Mario. That all of a sudden all your nieces and nephews are going to be taking whatever's left over.
Oh, dude, I gotta start thinking about that, man. I gotta start thinking about my piece of the pie. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I see your bets. I know.
I know. I'm just gonna start like whispering stuff to my parents, but you should have heard what Eli said about you, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Just tell your parents, look, you're going to leave the money to like the siblings, right? Like let them decide what their kids get. You don't need to divvy it up through the grandkids. I got a bad start. I'm the youngest one.
True. Maybe I should get more because you don't know how many I'm going to have. So it's like I could have 0 or I could have 7.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for all. So.
All right. We'll get out of here. All right. So there's no show on Sunday. We're coming back Monday for the post game, correct?
Correct.
All right. Monday's post game again, holding out for big Charger win. At least Josh and I are. Mario's completely jumped ship. All right. I guess we'll be riding in the back of the parade. Unbelievable. But anyway, we'll talk about all that on Monday. But again, appreciate everyone that jumped in. Super chats are great. But you don't need a super chat for us to read your comments. We read every single one of them. YouTube. We will converse with you if you have a comment on YouTube. Josh and I for sure right back. Mario sees him. He's busier than both of us, so it's tougher for him to respond. We want you to like and subscribe to the show. As Josh says, it'd be nice if we gain some more followers because I see that 2.7 subscribed and it seems to stand right there. Like, hey, you got a friend, tell them about the show. I mean, it'd be nice. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
I got another niece I got to buy a present for, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Mario needs some bragging points. Thanksgiving's coming up. We'd like to get to 3 before it's too late. All right. Damn, what have you guys been doing? Tell somebody. If you like the show, tell somebody.
What do you guys?
All right.
Barbers.
So for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you Monday night.